Excellent, and welcome to the TADSummit podcast. We're talking with Igor from Clerk Chat. And of course, we have Johnny on the line as well. This is actually podcast 96. We're going to be coming up to 100 soon. We weren't able to get the timing perfect, so you'd be number 100, but still, I'm really glad you're here, Igor. Maybe you could introduce yourself, please.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I've been following your work for a while now, reading the blogs, listening to the podcasts, a lot of useful information. So thank you so much for having me here today.
No, not at all. So maybe a little bit of background, because you have a sort of shared story almost with Johnny. Or at least you were in sort of proximity, even though we won't drive down to Brooklyn anymore.
He's from Brooklyn. I'm from Long Island, Queens. So we're a little bit different.
Yeah. Originally from New York, Bay Ridge, but now living in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley here. So have been here for about 10 years, but my background is in technology space infrastructure. So I've been actually started off within media sector working on film technology. So
cool.
Building tech for The Wolf of Wall Street in New York, and then Star Wars at Lucasfilm, part of Disney. So helping these companies build their global data pipelines. So
Gotcha.
different studios.
Yeah.
So built a lot, learned a lot, and now taking that knowledge and putting that in our own startup here at Clerk Chat.
Exactly. So please introduce Clerk Chat. What's it all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually one of the co-founders. I'm the CTO here at Clerk Chat, and Clerk Chat is building, as we say, the world's first AI telecom. We're a business messaging platform that built actually a lot of connectivity into existing telecoms, and we make it super easy for businesses to enable messaging on their existing phone numbers. And there's a big AI component around it. So any business can make their phone number essentially AI driven, where you can start building out these different AI agents that could connect on your existing business phone number.
Gotcha.
I got to jump in here, Alan.
Yeah, go
First of all, I want to I got to jump in, Alan. I got to congratulate you for a $7 million raise in messaging, SMS, anything related, which is truly amazing because nobody can get themselves arrested in the SMS industry as far as raising money. CPAS is over $100 billion has been lost. For somebody to raise capital for a product is truly, you must have a lights out product. And so I just want to congratulate you guys. And why I ran away from a bunch of kids this morning to jump on this podcast with you. But one quick question. You talk about business messaging. So this is inside of Microsoft Teams integrated with carriers. So you don't have to deal with the nonsensical campaign registry type thing because.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have over 1,000 companies using us right now, and we've done a lot behind the scenes to make it much easier for enterprises to enable messaging. So things like 2 clicks, you enable your phone number. If you're using Microsoft Teams, you're using Zoom, you're using WebEx. We are carrier agnostic, so it doesn't matter which carrier you use behind the scenes. We plug in directly with those providers. So if you're Telnex, Twilio, Bandwidth, that doesn't matter. So we make it super easy to plug in directly. And we've actually abstracted a lot of the complexities that companies run into. I actually, part of the idea behind Clerk Chat, I was at DocuSign working on their enterprise architecture. And if you actually go to DocuSign.com right now and you see their phone number, middle of the screen, there's like a 1-800 phone number. And if you try texting that phone number, it just goes nowhere. So customers try to engage with the business and they can't, primarily because like the messaging actually is broken right now.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of companies claim that they have it solved, but they're actually running into a lot of issues um, underneath because the CPaaS providers haven't solved a lot of the things. So they're inherently running into issues that these CPaaS providers have. So when I was at DocuSign, I was like, why can't customers engage with this phone number? Like, forget about like US, like other countries, like offices have multiple locations, right? And it's very hard to engage with the business. And if you look at kind of like the younger generation right now, no one wants to pick up the phone call. They just want to text, right?
Yep, spam likely.
Yeah, yeah. And my co-founder, he was actually at Netflix working, and I don't know if you guys know this, Netflix has like a telecom division because
Yes.
a large part of their revenue is actually coming from the partnerships with tier one telcos.
Sure.
So they were running into an issue where they were using like Twilio behind the scenes
Yes.
to engage with customers. It was one-way type messaging.
Yeah.
And customers actually wanted to engage back and to have that conversation with the business. And that, message went nowhere, essentially. So seeing this, we're like, okay, what can we do to improve this? How can you make a business essentially like conversational? So if a customer wants to engage with like a brand, like, I don't know, like a local pizzeria, for example, and make it personal, how can you do that? Like no one wants to get like, here's a 20% off coupon code, right? And right now AI is where it's at such an important point in time because AI could actually help solve a lot of those issues. So what we're doing behind the scenes is not only we're solving kind of the telecom component where we make it super easy for businesses to enable their telephony infrastructure, but also now you're able to start building out these AI agents that could help the business engage with the customer.
Exactly.
Wow, you just cut everything out. I mean, this is crazy. What you're doing, and the fact that you raise money, and I mean, look at the DNA from you guys, Netflix and DocuSign, and but that's a crazy DNA. And you're solving, because it's all one way. All these CPaaS companies are just terminating. They're just come over here, mark you up, terminate. So you're actually integrated. Wow, this is pretty. And I'll let you go a little deeper on the geek side of this because it's pretty cool.
Because Netflix has been in the programmable comm space for a long time now, both on the text and in the voice, because people would call in, it could be a billing issue, whatever, and they had it customized. So, some of the Netflix shows, the content, the music stuff was being played out while you were waiting on the line. Now, that is quite a long time ago. When you used to wait.
But you got quite a few customers I see on your site.
Yeah. So we have over 1,000 customers, different industries, transportation, logistics, healthcare, finance as well.
Now, what are some of the popular use cases they're using Clerk Chat for?
Engaging with like in transportation logistics, for example, we're working with multiple different companies where they have, for example, like truck drivers all over the United States. The kind of the company itself internally, they're using like Microsoft Teams. So we enable messaging on existing telephony. So if you have your main line or your employees have their individual lines, we enable SMS, WhatsApp on those numbers. So now they can engage with those truck drivers that don't necessarily want to be using an application. They're used to texting. It's a medium that everyone has. And they just want to engage with the business. And the business, on the business side, what we've done was we built a lot of kind of connections, API connectivity into like Microsoft Graph APIs, into Salesforce, into like Microsoft Dynamics. So all of these things pipe directly into the Clerk Chat, and we make it much easier for the company to engage with their customer base.
Gotcha. So it's both
Wow.
employee and customer base. So with the logistics company, it could be you've got several truck drivers in the Philly area, and you're trying to find out who can do this pickup and drop off.
Yeah. And if it's a large logistics company, right, they might have thousands of people texting into that company. And where AI plays such a huge role is the fact that we plug in directly into your CRM, like Salesforce.
Yeah.
So now the business has the context of who you are, right? For example, like which routes do you usually take? Like, do you drive from like Long Island to Pennsylvania? Like, what type of like truck do you have? And so on. So now the LLM is able to kind of like have this personalized conversation with the driver, and then at the same time be able to update your CRM as well. And as AI gets better and better, it can help augment the team.
Exactly. So it's a constrained problem, but because it's constrained, because it's routes, it's trucks, sort of, it then helps in the early adoption of AI, because it's not asking for it to understand all these general configurations and people issues and all the rest. It's here's the problem space. And because I was editing one of the videos with TADSummit, which was with Webio, and this is around debt conversations. And for them, that specialization has been key, because it enables them to constrain the problem. And, it's done in a human way. So it's not trying to make it automated. It's really trying to sort of capture what's the intent, what's the resolution we can.
Exactly. And if the LLM doesn't know how to respond, then it gets passed on to a human that can provide that context.
Gotcha. And of course, this human has the whole conversation that's happened, and you've got the intents, the propensities, and all the rest of it all presented. So it makes it easy for the human to intervene and still be relevant to the conversation that was taking place.
Exactly.
Interesting.
You got some amazing customers. You got Sonic, you got Slack, you got Remax. I'm looking at some of these customers, and I'm thinking of all the use cases, and I can envision a lot of people plugging into you guys or trying to rip you guys off pretty soon. What's the barrier to entry to come in there? Because obviously you've been successful. You raised $7 million. Half the industry is going upside down. What's from stopping some of the other Alan Quayle buddies to come in there and try to figure out how to copy or leverage? Birds. You're integrated with Slack. You're talking about Microsoft Teams. These companies were built to kind of do what you're doing, and you're doing it for them. And that's kind of like, what, did they forget something?
That's a very good question. So, and I'm a technology guy. This stuff is very hard, like very hard. Like, if you go on our website, we don't talk about kind of the telecom stuff that we've done behind the scenes, because from a customer perspective, they just want to care that their stuff works.
They don't care.
Like, can I get my phone number up and running? Can I get messaging up and running? And a lot of customers claim yes, but once you actually start incorporating and enabling messaging across thousands of numbers, it doesn't work well, because it's the inherent problem of the underlying.
Oh, we lost you there.
For example, DLC.
Okay. Sorry, you just paused that. Okay. He just paused. So you just restate that sentence you were speaking. I'll get it all edited up so it looks fine.
Cool. And I lost my train of thought there.
And that's okay. This will get edited out.
You were talking about giving me and Alan free shares.
Yeah. So from a customer perspective, right? Mm-hmm. They hear about that their stuff works.
Yeah.
Like I want to, I'm signing up to a product, and I'm trying to enable my phone numbers across my employee base, right? Like thousands of numbers.
Yeah.
And all they care about is that their stuff works. They don't care about kind of the underlying contractual or
Exactly. All the LOAs have to be
that
signed. And
that like Twilio might have,
Gotcha.
or like that, Zoom or Microsoft might have, that
Gotcha.
actually prevents you to enable messaging and stuff like that. So now you actually can't do it. They don't care. They want their stuff to work,
Yeah.
right? Or the 10DLC registration, right? For many of these folks, they have no idea that this complex form that TCR requires,
Yeah.
provide like example messages and things like that. So from our perspective is we're thinking about how can you like build out this consumer level experience, but make it for an enterprise,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how do we abstract the complexities that currently exist with the players, the messaging players that have built amazing businesses on top of Twilio, right? But they are inherently running into issues of these underlying providers,
Yes.
because of the complexities within the telecom, right? So things that we're doing are, from a technology perspective, are quite hard, right? So we're leveraging AI and LLMs to help like companies register for 10DLC.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So not having a customer worry about, here is a 10-page form that you need to fill out with example campaign messages that 90% of the time is going to get like denied because something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
So things like you as a business, you provide your business EIN number and we handle everything else. Like we've verified the business, we automatically build out like campaign information through AI and register the complexities of handle the complexities of registering these businesses.
Yeah.
So we have over 90% success rate in registering for 10DLC. We do it super quickly as well. So things like that that we're completely abstracting from the customer. Again, it's the hard stuff from the technology side that we've done, like connectivity from the API side across different carriers, connectivity into business applications as well. So once you have your connectivity set up, then sales teams, support teams, they want their CRM information. Compliance teams care about export of like logs. So having connectivity into like Global Relay, Smarsh, Purview, and things like that. So now Clerk Chat becomes this kind of like centralized communication platform.
Gotcha. I can see where the value is building. It's just focusing on one particularly complex piece where you're using LLMs to help speed up the TCR because so many small businesses stumble.
Well, TCR it's a hurdle that he's helping people with. What he's doing, he's going one step further.
Exactly.
Integrating the brands with their customers or drivers. I mean, what he's doing is way more important than TCR, which won't be around much longer anyhow. No,
that's just an example of one of the hurdles.
I know but I mean, what he's doing there is like they don't care. It's like Robert Viz said. We had him on our podcast from Bird, and he raised quite a bit of money out there. He said the same thing. They don't care. All they care about is does it work.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is you're really threading the needle here with the brands, for the brands. I mean, I see some of the car companies you have on here. I'm just looking at your customers and I'm saying, wow, these are big brands. These are big names. And you guys have them integrated and you've raised money. And I know how difficult that is. You raised $7 million in seed. That means you really have something because you can't even walk into an office and say, I got a messaging thing. You're like, what? Get out of here. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's like, what are we back in like 2000?
Like 10 years ago. What century are you in?
Yeah.
So that's what fascinates me on this. And I don't want to talk too much here.
It's interesting. It's such a good point, right? Because you're meeting a lot with, VCs in the Bay Area here, and many don't have kind of the knowledge around how telecom is built. It's like, what are we in 2000s again? Like,
Well, all they
million
know is
messaging apps
All they
out
know
there.
is Twilio. Somebody made a lot of money on Twilio and went to $80 billion and shot back down to 9. And they lost 70 billion. So VCs are looking at it going, all right, that ship sailed.
Right.
We've made our money there. And, there's all kinds of hurdles, but you're really, I don't even know how to put you in a box. I mean, where do you even, because you've got Slack, you got Microsoft, you got all these different brands. I mean, I'd love to dig
So
deeper
how
on
do you do a
this.
category definition for Clerk Chat? I'm just
You can't.
interested. Well, no, I mean, he must have.
Well, I'd love you guys to actually
category.
define it. I'd love to, because we're in some ways we're kind of like struggling with this. It's like, where do we put ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So, I don't know if you guys have any ideas, but I'm all ears.
I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it's F you, we're doing it right. You guys all screwed up. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this. I'd love to hear what the Birds are saying about this, or the Twilios, or these other people that are kind of, Bird redid his business on a big scale, but he raised crazy amount of money out there trying to be Twilio, and then he changed it and became a new age CRM.
Yeah.
And then you've got the industry. I mean, people are getting into pumping AIT. People are making money on spam. I mean, today I just read a statistics that SMS has now surpassed email as far as the biggest cybersecurity threat. I think I sent that to you, Alan.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of those concerns. Alan, I really think the community, because we have a lot of messaging companies and people in the industry that are watching this, and I think we should have them back from some kind of a demo. Like we just did a demo with Wadero, which is a completely different product. We've had over 3,000 people view 35 minutes of this British guy talking about his unique tech that's game changing. So I think I think we got to do this with a demo. I think we got to follow up. I think it's important. And I think a lot of your customers and people that are going to want to tap into you, right? I mean, a lot of other customers that you have are their customers. So you're taking their customers and you're carving them out. So they can't be too happy about that. As long as you believe your product and your technology is defensible and coming from your background and your guys' DNA, I'm pretty sure you guys have figured that out.
No, I appreciate it for sure. And you mentioned a really good point around kind of like security aspect. And, for a lot of large or any enterprise, like security is so important because like right now with, like SMS is not an encrypted medium, right? And how can we build a system that these companies trust, right? And especially with the AI component, right? Like everyone is afraid of, oh, are you guys training your models based on, our proprietary data, right? So how, like from our perspective, like we're getting these questions like every day from enterprise as well. So as we're building out this platform, it's critical to us to make sure that the platform is secure and the data is encrypted, and when AI, like we're not training on your data, or we're not sending this data to OpenAI.
You mean like Google's going to do with RCS? Oops, did I say that? I'm going to get banned again. They're going to block our videos again on YouTube.
But that's an interesting point because it's the security.
The key point.
So what are the ratio between SMS and WhatsApp today? North America.
Yeah, it's a very good question. In some ways, like if you look at like North America, like we're outdated when it comes to like what we're using internally. Like you have a lot of companies only now adopting SMS, which is wild. Like if you look at other countries, like you go to Europe, you go to like South America, it's all
Latin America. Oh yeah, absolutely. WhatsApp is there, whole host of use cases that cut across every aspect of life. I mean, when Costa Rica, when I'm there.
Not the Costa Rica story.
Exactly. But I can communicate with tour operators directly. And it's like, hey, you're just down the road. Can we pop down and be on a boat tour this afternoon? Yes, of course. Come. And it's just so easy. And you've got all the reviews, you've got all the content.
And Mark Zuckerberg's not training that data, right? He's not training your data on that, right? I think what he just said is really critical, and it's going to be huge as far as the security for the brands and their data.
Yeah.
Especially if the Europeans ever get their hands on GDPR over here, and if they ever break in and start doing that. So I got to really thread a needle here, guys.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. We got to get these guys on a demo.
And the demo is really sweet. It's short, but the demo is really sweet. So what I'll say, Igor, is let's get another time scheduled so we can get the demo, because that for me was what sold. I mean, once I understood your proposition, it was like, this is easy. You've made it easy. You've done this piece. You've done this piece. Oh my God, you're using LLMs with TCO. Yes. You just pushed all the crap away. So I think the demo will definitely sell it. So let's get that set up.
Absolutely. And let's go to the industry and how do you define this?
Yeah, let's ask the question.
Game change. How do you raise $7 million on anything related to messaging with RCS coming out, with all the fraud insurance, with all the $100 billion that's been lost on CPaaS? For you to even raise money, there has to be something really a secret sauce in there. And I think I've heard it. Yeah. I think I've got it. And your brands speak for themselves. So yeah, I think we got to get you back for a demo. I think it's cool. We're not doing you justice.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Yeah, happy to demo the product.
Excellent. That's the plan going forward. So again, Igor, thank you so much. You can see Johnny sold. He'll be wanting to invest next.
No, I want free shares. We got a big audience. I'm going to come up with the catchphrase. I'll be an evangelist like I am for Widero.
Exactly. I'll come out to Long Island, take me out for some good pizza. And
absolutely, I'm in. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm a screamer.
Cool. That's good. Thanks so much, Igor. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.